Good afternoon, Karthik. Good afternoon, everyone. What was the last question we have done? I think exam corner 2 we are doing. Exam corner 2, question number 3 I asked you to try. Question number 4 we have to do. Is it correct? Question number 4. Okay. Exam corner. What is the number of the exam corner 2? Question number 4. Okay, so till now, whatever we have discussed, is there any doubt or something? If there is any doubt, let me know. Yesterday class, whatever we have done, if there is any doubt, let me know in the remaining 1 minute like that. Or is it clear? It's clear, right? Okay. So question number 4, it says, calculate the change in velocity. Calculate the change in velocity of a projectile during the time of flight. So during the time of flight, matlab, from here to here, when it comes, we have to calculate the change in velocity. The question is not complete. They should say in terms of what we have to calculate. So in terms of initial quantities, what are the initial quantities? U and theta. So if a body is thrown with initial velocity u at angle theta from horizontal, when it completes the projectile motion, matlab after time of flight, what will be the change in velocity that we have to find. Before we start answering this question, students, do you remember while discussing free fall, while discussing one-dimensional motion, 1D motion, I told if you throw something with velocity 10 meter per second up, if you throw something with 10 meter per second up, while coming down to the same point, how much speed it will have? Same only, right? Only the direction will be opposite. Only the direction will be opposite. So same thing we can apply here also. So the y component will be reversed. Okay, so look carefully here. So this is the ground. This is the ground. Okay, so here is a projectile. Here is a projectile which I am giving initial velocity u at angle theta. Right? So it has two components, you know. One is your ux, one is your uy. Correct now? And what is your ux? U cos theta. And what is your uy? U sin theta. Right? These are the components of the initial velocity. Now, this particle will follow a projectile path. When it reaches here, when it reaches there, it must have same speed. Direction will not be same. Speed has to be same. So its velocity will be like this. So this v will be same as u. This v will be same as u. Only here. Okay. Why? Because you know that ux will remain same. This ux will remain same. Do you remember or not? I told x component of velocity remains constant. So this vx will be same as ux. You remember or not? In projectile motion along x-axis, velocity does not change. So whatever is the final velocity along x-axis will be same as initial velocity along x-axis. And since this point is at the same level, this point and this point are at the same level, already you know if you throw up with 10 meter per second, While coming back, it should have same speed. So the y component of the speed, vy, that will be also same as uy. Okay, so y component of speed here and here will be same. X component of speed also will be same. Therefore, the speed here will be same as here. Till here understood? Everyone? If any doubt is there, tell me to sir, please explain how this is same or something. Let me try to show you mathematically also why it is same. One way easily to remember is, first you have to remember in one dimensional motion what we have studied. In one dimension, Sujal, do you remember if I throw it 10 meter per second up, while coming back, what will be its speed, Sujal? If I throw something with 10 only, so you can resolve this into two components. This component will be affected by gravity. This component will be affected by gravity. This component will never be affected by gravity. So this component of velocity will always remain constant. But for this point and this point, since the level is same, what is same? Level is same. If this component is 10 meter per second, this also will be 10 meter per second. So y component of final velocity will also be same as y component of initial velocity. Only here, remember, not here, not here. Is it clear? Okay. Now let me try to explain to you mathematically also why it is same. What was the formula for Vy? Uy plus Ayt. Correct or not correct? This formula. V equal to first equation, right? Okay. Now, Uy is upwards, right? So Uy, let us write U sine theta. Since I wrote U sine theta, it means I have taken upward positive. Then Ay will be what? Minus G. Minus G, because upward I have taken positive, so downward will be negative. Now, what is T? Time taken. After what time they are asking? From here to here means after what time? Time of flight. From here to here means time taken will be time of flight. So capital T. Understood? Okay. Now, what was the formula for time of flight? What was the formula for time of flight? 2u sine theta. Space is not there. Let me remove this part. So Vy here will be u sine theta minus g t. What is t? 2u sine theta by g. You remember, right? Time of flight formula. G cancel. So what is Vy? U sine theta minus 2u sine theta. U sine theta minus 2u sine theta will give you what? Minus u sine theta. Yes or no? Right? That means your Vy is same as Uy. See, this is Uy, no, check. Why minus sign came? Can you tell me why minus sign came? Why minus sign came here? Because Vy is in opposite direction of Uy. So you can actually write here minus Uy. Okay. Now, having understood this, but again students, I don't want you to waste your time doing this. This is called what of time? This is called what of time? Waste of time. Yes, it is okay to understand, but already we have understood in one dimensional motion. If something is thrown up with u speed, while coming back, it will also have u speed, but in opposite direction. Okay. So now, since we know these things, let us calculate change in velocity. Since they said change in velocity, velocity is vector quantity. So let us write initial velocity in vector form. Ux I cap plus Uy j cap. And let us write final velocity. This is the final velocity. Here, okay, here. How will you write? What is the x component? same as ux. It is vx, I know, but vx is same as ux. So I can write ux I cap minus vy, and that is minus only uy j cap. Understood this part? Why minus? Because this is downward. This part understood? We are writing change in velocity. Okay. So now the question was to find change in velocity. Change in any quantity is always final value minus initial value. So final value minus initial value. Can you see what will happen? This and this will cancel, right? So what will you get? Minus 2uy j cap. Right? This, when you subtract, this and this will cancel. This and this will become minus uy minus 2uy. And what was uy? U sin theta. Okay, so this is the change in velocity. Suppose they ask you to find only the magnitude of change in velocity. Suppose they ask you to find magnitude of change in velocity. Magnitude of change in velocity. So if you take magnitude of this, what will you get? Magnitude matlab modulus. So you will get 2u sin theta. That would be the answer if they ask magnitude of change in velocity. Why where is j cap? Why I did not write j cap? Magnitude of j cap is 1 because it is unit vector, and modulus of minus is plus only, so we don't have to write. Okay, let me now tell you the same answer in a more very faster way. Faster way you want to learn or not? Okay, so to know the faster way, first tell me this. If I ask change in something, then it means I have to subtract final velocity, final quantity minus initial quantity. Now tell me, if the quantity is same, what will be the change in the quantity? Everybody accepted 0, right? If 5 becomes 5, change will be 0. Now tell me, understood. Okay, enough. No need for everyone to answer. It will be difficult for me to see. Now tell me, if 5 becomes minus 5, what will be the change? You can tell only the magnitude. Actually, it will become minus 10, but magnitude only if you say it will be 10. Understood, everyone? So this is something important to remember, okay? If there is some quantity A, and if A becomes A means what? A is A only. So the change in A will be 0. Okay? Okay, change in A will be 0. But if A becomes minus A, change will be what? Just magnitude you tell. 2, where x, from where x came, 2A. Change will be 2A. So this is something I want you guys to know. If you know these things, no, you can easily do this problem like this. In I think 20 seconds you can solve. So let me explain quickly, okay? So look here. So same question can come in your entrance exam. So in entrance exam, how to solve this in, let's say, 20 seconds? Look here. They are asking you change in velocity during the time of flight. Time of flight matlab from starting to the ending. So when it starts like this, you know it has two components. Here u cos theta, here u sin theta. Agree or not? Then when it comes here, you know the speed will be same. So this will be u cos theta. But what about this one? This will become down, u sin theta. But this is opposite to this, so you can write minus. Understood this part? Hello? Okay. Now what they asked you, change they asked. Change in velocity, magnitude, let's say. Change from here to here. Now, you only told me, if the quantity is same, change will be 0. Now look here, u cos theta is this u cos theta and this u cos theta are same or not? These two are same or not? Same. Direction is also same. So what will be change because of this? Because of this component, there will be no change. Because of this component, there will be no change. And because of this, see, minus u sin theta has become minus u sin theta. Here what I told, if a becomes minus a, what will be change? 2a. So if u sin theta becomes minus u sin theta, change will be 2u sin theta. Can't you do this in 20 seconds? Aram se we can do. I may have taken 40 like that, but because I was explaining to you, no, I was asking you. So write this also, okay, faster way. Write this also quickly. But again, this you can say only for same level. Question number 5, I gave you as homework. One girl has already done. Which was that girl who sent me the answer? I forgot the name. Okay. Anyways, one girl has done. I hope others also have done. Very simple question, this one. Question number 6 is again very, very simple. During projectile motion, at which point does velocity vector becomes perpendicular to acceleration vector? At which point? You know how velocity we draw tangent. Acceleration is constant. Acceleration due to gravity is always downwards. So do we have to write reason for? No reason, just answer. No need for it. Reason you know already, no? So yesterday class I have explained here, I remember. This part I have explained, okay? Plus half at square minus half at square. If the person applies brakes. By the way, that video you have seen, no? I have shared the video also. So that funnel he has used, the ball is kicked up and while coming down, it goes like this, right? So please see those. Whenever I find some important concept is taught, which is difficult to visualize, then I will try to find some good videos on that, short videos, and I will share with you. You don't have to waste your time in YouTube and all. You please start solving more and more MCQs. That is important. And very soon, students, I will make a group of 5 students among that our batch 2 group, and in that 5 students I will have some kind of interaction with all of you. But no, why no friction means what? If friction is there, it will retard. No, if friction is there, it will be like the driver is applying brakes. Then how it will fall on the same place? I already explained, no? If there is friction, then the cart will slow down, so the ball will go in front of the cart. Understood, Stalin? Yeah, by the way, answer the question which I told. Question number what now? During projectile motion, at which point velocity is perpendicular to acceleration? At which point? At which point during this motion, during this projectile motion, at which point the velocity vector is perpendicular to acceleration vector? Let me name some points: A, B, C, D, E. At which point? Obviously the answer is C, because velocity vector, how do you draw? Tangent. So here velocity vector will be like this. 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 Where is acceleration vector? Acceleration is constant in all this derivation. That is the first thing I've told you. All these derivations are only acceptable if acceleration is constant. And one of the best example of constant acceleration is acceleration due to gravity. So where is the acceleration? Downwards. So can you see at which point it is perpendicular? At which point? See, but in exam, how will you write? In exam, you will write highest point. At highest point, spelling is wrong. At highest point, which is C in my example, velocity vector is perpendicular to acceleration vector. Okay, so this is done. Okay, now students, we need to go back and see some questions which I have left while doing this session. Okay, yeah, learning exercise 3.9. Learning exercise 3.9. Today this session will be completed. Tomorrow we will start a very important session called relative velocity. Relative velocity. So the learning exercise that I have skipped before is learning exercise 3.9. Question number 1. A particle is moving in a curved path. A particle is moving in a curved path. What is the difference in the direction of average velocity and instantaneous velocity? Instantaneous velocity matlab what? Velocity at a given time. At a given time, whatever velocity you want to know, that is instantaneous velocity. This we have already discussed by discussing 1D motion already, right? So when the body is moving in a what path they told? Curved path. So if this is your path, then average velocity. What is the definition of average velocity? Displacement by time. Displacement by time taken. So this, wherever will be displacement, there will be your average velocity. So let us say this is point A, this is point B. So at time 0 it is here, at time t it is there. Then you all know this is your what vector? This is called what vector? From initial position to final position, displacement vector. And average velocity is always along displacement vector. See, equal to is there? No, equal to is there. This is scalar quantity. So this vector and this vector should have same direction. So average velocity will be always along displacement. So wherever is displacement, average velocity will be in that direction. But instantaneous velocity is always found by drawing what? Tangent. So this is instantaneous velocity here. This is instantaneous velocity here. Okay. So this is how you have to know the difference between direction of instantaneous velocity and average velocity. So in words, if you want to write, average velocity is along displacement vector. Displacement. Okay. And instantaneous velocity is along tangent to the path. Okay, students, and tangent is always drawn at how many points? 1 point, and that point is the point where you want to know instantaneous velocity. So wherever you want to know the instantaneous velocity, you have to draw tangent. Students, already I've given you reason also. Don't think I'm simply making you people memorize this. No, I've already explained. To find instantaneous velocity, what I told you, time interval should be to find instantaneous velocity, time interval should be very small. So if the time interval is very small, if initial instant is here, if first instant is here, second instant you cannot take here, it has to be somewhere here only. So your displacement will be this one. So instantaneous velocity will be in this direction. Okay. So of course, instantaneous velocity will be always along displacement only, but it has to be a very small displacement, because the moment I say instantaneous velocity, time interval must be extremely small. It should tend to 0 actually, mathematically. Yeah. So this is basically something which we have done. Again, we are writing. So done, students, quickly finish it. Okay. Let us now see question number 2. Question number 2, students, will be very useful later when we will do circular motion. When we will study circular motion, question number 2 will be very important. Okay. So let us see what they are asking. Question number 2, same learning exercise. A particle is moving in a curved path. Very good. At a given instant, matlab at one particular point, the angle between velocity vector and acceleration vector is phi. Phi they are saying. What is the tangential acceleration of the particle they are asking? Tangential acceleration. For what angle the tangential acceleration will be 0? Very interesting question. So particle is moving in a curved path. What kind of curve? They have not told it is in gravity or something. Nothing they have told. Just particle is moving in a curved path. What they are saying? The angle between instantaneous velocity, matlab velocity at a point, and acceleration is phi they are saying. So any point you choose, any point. Okay. Now how will you draw velocity? Since this is path, velocity has to be tangent. Velocity has to be along the tangent. Okay, you cannot draw this way, this way. Now where will be acceleration? That we cannot say. That we cannot say. If it is gravity, it will be downwards. If it is due to some engine, some car is creating the acceleration by rubbing the ground and all those things, which we will study in Newton's laws. So we cannot tell where will be acceleration directly. So we have to assume whatever the question is saying. What the question is saying, acceleration and velocity are making what angle? Did you read the question or not? Acceleration and velocity are making angle, hey, 0, phi. Phi they are saying. This is phi. PHI. Not PHY. PHY is physics. Okay. PHI. So you can show anywhere you want. So let me show it this way. So this is my acceleration vector at angle phi. Okay, students, this diagram is clear or not? Which one you cannot draw according to your wish? Velocity you cannot draw according to your wish. Once you have drawn the path, velocity has to be along the what? Once you have drawn the path, velocity at a point has to be along the tangent. That you cannot change. Acceleration you put anywhere right now because they did not say it is due to gravity or something. So you can put anywhere. Now what they are asking, tangential acceleration. Now what is tangential acceleration? As the name says, it is component of acceleration along the what I should write. Can you guess? From the name you should get the hint. X, where is x axis, y axis in the diagram? In this, I have not drawn any x axis, y axis along the tangent. Along the tangent. Okay, students. So that is the meaning of tangential acceleration. Very, very useful later on when we study circular motion. Even in projectile motion, we can use it, but for more advanced problems only, we will use this. Let me repeat again. What is the meaning of tangential acceleration? It is the component of acceleration along the tangent. So if you see this acceleration, according to question, makes what angle? Phi. So you know from your components of vector that you can resolve a vector into two components. So can I break this acceleration into one component here? One component here? Yes or no? Yes or no, students? Any vector, you can break into two components, one here, one here. This is the way we usually write, but you can also break one here like this. Okay, you cannot say this is right and this is wrong because these two are still perpendicular. So these two components should be perpendicular. Then we call it perpendicular components. So if you call this as your x-axis, this will be your y-axis like that. So what I have done, look carefully. I have resolved. Resolved means I have broken the vector into two components. One along the velocity, matlab along the tangent. One perpendicular to the tangent. What will be this component? If this is A, this is phi. What will be this component? A cos phi. Accepted or not? If a vector makes angle theta, what is the component? A cos theta. So tangential component will be A cos phi or A sin phi. First one or second one will be tangential component. A cos, right? So A cos theta. So this is the tangential acceleration A cos phi. Okay, students? In magnitude only we are writing. In magnitude. This is the first part. Second part, they asked, when will be tangential acceleration 0? Tell me from here. Let me give this symbol AT. AT. Because it is tangential acceleration. So AT will be 0 when phi is how much? When phi is 90 degree. So when the angle between velocity vector and acceleration vector is 90 degree, that time tangential acceleration will be 0. Right now? Okay. Let us see now question number, this one is done. Numerical exercise 3.3, question number 2 we have not done, right? Okay, finish this. So this vector I have taken one component along the tangent, one component perpendicular to the tangent. By the way, students, are you not thinking, sir, what will we call this component? This component also they have given a name. Shall I share with all of you or later on we will do? Now only let me tell you, this component is called, I think once I say the name, all of you will be comfortable. This is called normal acceleration. Normal acceleration. Good name or not? Why it is called normal? You understood? Tangent or perpendicular to tangent. If you remember your school geometry of circle, if you remember the school geometry of circle, then perpendicular to tangent is called normal. So we call this component normal acceleration, this component tangential acceleration. Chalo, write down. Now, the reason why I did not do the numerical exercise question number 2 that time was this question is based on vectors. Vectors, and I was not sure whether you people remember everything or not. So let me just quickly remind you one basic formula in vectors. If you have two vectors A bar and B bar at some angle theta, what are A and B? Magnitudes. Magnitudes matlab values of the quantity. So maybe this is 10 Newton, this is 6 Newton, like that. This angle is the angle between the two vectors. Then if you want to know resultant of these two vectors, resultant matlab sum of the two vectors, sum, S-U-M, then it is given by the diagonal of this parallelogram. And the resultant formula for magnitude is, I hope everyone remembers, root over A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. Right? I hope everyone remembers this formula. Once before your PTB exams, I will do revision for the derivation also. I will derive this once more later. Then direction, suppose you want to know, let's say, this angle if you want to know, then that angle was given by the formula tan alpha is equals to, be careful, if you are measuring alpha with respect to A, then you have to write here d sin theta. D sin theta by A plus B cos theta. Okay, students, so check the formulas carefully with the diagram. There is no point remembering only the formula without having the picture in your mind. So this picture should be in your head. Now, it doesn't matter. You see, I wrote this way. You can also write this way. This is A, this is B. Then from triangle law, this will be your resultant. Agree or not? Hello? This is same or same like this only. Because if this is B, this is also B, no? This and this are same only. So this is also B. And here, this is theta or alpha. This is theta or alpha. Be careful. This is alpha. Then where is theta? Where is theta here? You have to extend this line. This is theta. Because if you extend this line, this theta will be same as this theta. Agree, everyone? This theta will be here. Agree, right? Okay, fine. So anyone you can use diagram wise, no problem. So let us solve this question number, how much? 2. Chalo, let us read. On a open ground, a motorist follows a track that turns to his left by an angle of 60 degree after every 500 meter. So some gada is this. Okay, what he is doing? After traveling 500 meter, he is turning to the left by 60 degree. Not 90 degree, 60 degree. Then again after traveling 500 meter, 60 degree left. Again after 500 meter, 60 degree left, like that. So he keeps on doing that according to question. Now they are asking, starting from a given turn, starting from any turn, specify the displacement. They are asking displacement of the motorist at the 3rd turn, 6th turn and 8th turn. Compare the magnitude of displacement with the total path length. Total path length matlab distance covered by the motorist in each case. So which are the important things I should remember? After 500 meters, he is turning towards left by 60 degree. Now let me tell you one easy one. Suppose he is turning by not 60 degree, 90 degree. How will the path look? After starting from here, let us say, he travels 500 meters and takes a left turn 90 degree. So 90 degree means like this, no? Then after 500 meters, 90 degree. Again after 500 meters, 90 degree. So it will look like a square, right? 90 degree turn, 90 degree turn, 90 degree turn. Okay, all the time he is turning towards left only, left. But here it is 60 degree. Can you tell me the shape, how it will look? Oh, not equilateral. Equilateral means 120 degree it has to turn. It will be a hexagon. Okay, so let us see now. Now look carefully. So let us say this is the starting. So he travels 500 meter and takes a turn of 60 degrees. So with respect to this line, he turns by 60 degrees and travels 500 meters. So this is 60 degrees. Okay, he is traveling like this, then he turns 60 degrees. Till here understood? Till here understood everyone? Okay. Now again after traveling 500 meters, again he turns 60 degrees. Okay, it may not be perfect, students, but I'm trying my best. Then this one I should not draw now. Then again he turns left 60 degree. Then it should be somewhere here. Again he takes a turn 60 degree. It looks more than 60, I know, but can't be perfect, no. And then again he makes a turn 60 degree. Okay. Diagram is understandable. I think I have done quite a nice diagram actually. It looks nice. Okay. So diagram is clear, everybody, what the question is saying. Okay. Now what they told, starting from a given turn, what will be the displacement after the third, sixth and eighth? Third, sixth and eighth. So let us say this is my starting. Okay, starting. So let us see after third turn where it will be. Okay. So once it makes third turn, okay, so starts from here, first turn, second turn, third turn. So third turn it is here. Yes or no, students? Third turn means it is there. So displacement will be how much? This will be your, by the way, I can draw these lines. Oh, so perfectly it has come. So displacement will be this. This will be displacement. Right? So let us call this point O, this A, this B, this C, this D, this E, this O. So what will be displacement after third turn? Displacement after third turn is equal to this distance, no, this shortest distance, OC. Let us write only magnitude. Okay, so OC it will be. Now what will be OC? OC will be equal to, if I call this point F, then it will be OF plus FC. OF plus FC. Yes or no, students? This distance, shortest distance from initial to final. And that will be how much? Now see, this is 60 degree. This is 60, this is 60, this is 60, this is 60. So this is what triangle? This is what triangle? This triangle will be what triangle? Equilateral, right? So if this is 500, this is also 500. This is also 500. So displacement will be 500 plus 500, which is 1000 meters. Clear, students? After third turn, okay? Just after third turn. Now, what will be the distance? They also told you distance. No, distance I don't need to write, modulus. Distance means what? Total length of the path. 500, 500, 500. So it will be 3 times 500. So 1500 meters. So I hope everybody understood. Distance means always the length of the path. So this is the actual path. This one, and this one. So 500, 500, 500. That is the total distance, which is 1500. Displacement is always from initial position to final position. You have to draw a vector. And the distance of that vector, the shortest distance, is what we call displacement, magnitude of displacement. Right down. Done? Diagram you draw properly. If you want me to wait, I will wait, no problem. Okay, okay. Don't take so much time also. Okay, fine. Now, next what they asked for what turn? Sixth turn, right? Sixth turn. So sixth turn. Now where it will be? Sixth turn, where it will be? Starting from here. First turn, second turn, third turn, fourth turn, fifth turn, sixth turn, back to here. So sixth turn means displacement will be O to O. It's not 00, okay? So sixth turn means it will be back to this only, right? This is sixth turn also. Sixth turn. So when it is making the sixth turn, it will be back here. So displacement will be 0. O to O is 0. What about distance? 500, 500, 500, 500, 500, 500. 6 times 500. That will be 3000 meters. As you can see, distance keeps on increasing. Distance keeps on increasing. Okay, this was easy. Last one is after which turn? Eighth turn. Eighth turn. Eighth turn, which point it will be? Sixth turn here, seventh turn here, eighth turn here, right? So it will be at B. So displacement will be OB. So this will be your eighth turn. Who is this Tarun else? Watch what he is saying. Stalin, what he is trying to say? Someone wrote a message, no, now? Okay, by mistake, huh? So now, look here. By eighth turn, it will be here, right? So what will be displacement? This will be displacement now. Now, this one directly you cannot say. This one directly you cannot find. Understood? But listen carefully now. Stop writing. This is basically, look here, sum of this and this or not. This vector plus this vector will be this vector. Agree or not? This vector plus this vector is this vector. Agree or not? Right? So since this vector is sum of this vector and this vector, I can use my resultant of two vectors formula. Pythagoras theorem, how will you apply? This is not 90 degree, this is 60 degree. So this will be root over this square, 500 square plus 500 square plus 2 times 500 into 500 into cos of. Okay, space is not there. So let me write quickly this side. So displacement OB will be root of 500 square plus 500 square plus 2 times 500 into 500 into cos of. What is the angle between this vector and this vector? 60 degree. Cos of 60 degree, right, students? So this formula we have to use. Basically what I'm saying, this vector, if you draw separately here, 500, this vector, 500, which is at an angle of 60 degree, can be found by adding these two vectors. You can find this vector, resultant vector, right? So that will be your displacement. So for only this one, we need to do some calculation. So that will be root of cos 60 will be half, 2 and 2 will cancel. So 3 times 500 square. Yes or no? 500 square, 500 square, 500 square. Cos 60 will be half. 2 and 2 will cancel. So it will be 3 times 500 square. So it will be root 3 into 500. Somebody just multiply how much it will come, or you can keep it like this only. In exam you multiply, no problem. So only for this one we have to use parallelogram law. Other ones though we found very easily. Right? First one it was very easy because it was here, no. So directly we can find. So to find this displacement, don't add this one with this one and with this one. It will take a lot of time. To find this displacement directly, you can add this 500 with this 500. 866.02. 866.025. Okay. What about distance? Distance will be 500, 500, 500, 500, again 500, again 500. So how many times? 6 times, 7 times, 8 times. So 8 times 500. That will be 4,000 meters. Okay. So I hope you will be able to do this. This is the more important part. Others are very easy. Okay. Please do the home exercise, question number 2. Learning exercise 3.10. Question number 1. I have not done. Question number 2 we have done. Question number 1 we have to do. So learning exercise 3.10. Question number 1. Hey, this is very simple, students. Does acceleration along y-axis imply change in the x component of velocity? Yes or no? Acceleration along y-axis will mean x component of velocity will change. No, sir. So answer is no, sir. No, sir, you don't write in exam. Only no, you write. Okay. Right? Reason is very simple. Acceleration along x-axis will be dvx by dt. No. And acceleration along y-axis will be dvy by dt. I hope everybody remembers these two formula. These are the formula for instantaneous acceleration along x-axis and along y-axis. So this acceleration means this will change. X component of velocity will change. And this acceleration means y component of velocity will change. So just because this is there doesn't mean this will change. This is there means this will change. Okay, so I hope that is very clear. Nothing to explain. Question number 2 we did already. Question number 1, home exercise. Anyone did try it? One of you tried. It was a little confusing. He got confused in the middle. So have you tried question number 1 or question number 1 of home exercise 3.9? Okay. Others, do you want me to show it once? Anyone, if anybody, if one student also wants me to show, means I will show. But you have to give one attempt once. First you have to try. Simply you cannot tell sir, you do sir, like that. Then in exam also you will ask me, you only do like that. That is not possible. So if there is even one student who wants me to try, you tell me, I will do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay then. I think you have shared in the group also, right? Yeah. So those students who have not found, you can share it in the group. If one student has shared, it is enough. I am not asking everyone to share. My mobile memory will be full like that. Okay, I think then it is done. This session is completed. Yeah. So students, this session is completed. Remaining half an hour like that, we will try to solve some good questions from the assignment. So try to take out your assignment. If you are using another mobile, you can see laptop something, or you listen carefully. I will explain the question. Assignment to Yeah, there was one question which I wanted to explain. Which was that number, you remember? 30, how much students? 37, yeah. Yeah, I want to explain 37. I will explain all questions only, but today for half an hour time is there. I will try to select some good questions, okay? So topic you write MCQ discussion on motion in a straight line. Students, please start revising all the notes and all definitions and all formula, because soon we will be having test. So I don't want you people to suddenly feel that a test is there. We have to study so much like that. Okay. So let us discuss question number 37. Before I discuss this question, in free fall, when I was doing free fall, I've already told you both kind of tests, both PTB also, PTE also. Now concentrate. Now concentrate. Don't disturb me. Okay. Listen carefully. If you drop a ball from some height, as it falls, it starts with zero velocity. As it falls a height of h, by the time it reaches here, how much velocity it has? Root of 2gh. This answer should be told like this, fast. You should not take time. You should not think, wait sir, like that. How I get this formula? All of you remember which formula I applied? V square minus u square equals to 2as. Yes or no? Initial velocity 0. Final velocity I want. Displacement is h, downwards. Acceleration is due to gravity, downwards. Both are downwards. This is also down. This is also down. So why to take down negative? Better to take down. If both are down, better to take both positive. So it will be 2gh. So v will be root of 2gh. Correct? So again and again, students, I don't want to revise. Keep on revising. I don't want to do. This answer you should tell immediately. Similarly, if I throw a ball up with velocity u, how far it will go? Maximum height. What was the formula? U square by 2g. How did we derive this formula? Same formula we used. If it has reached up to this height, final velocity is what? 0. Up to that height, if it has reached final velocity 0, then it will come back. Now what is the formula? Same, v square minus u square equals to 2as. Final velocity 0. Initial is u. Now be careful. Displacement is up or down? Displacement is up or down? Up. Acceleration due to gravity is down. So now both are not in the same direction. So if one is positive, other will be negative. So you can take displacement positive, up positive, then acceleration will be negative. That you have to decide, your wish. Then what will be the answer? Minus u square equal to minus 2gh. Minus minus cancel. So from here, if you cross multiply, you will get maximum height u square by 2g. In some cases, you may know the height. If you know the height and they ask you to find initial velocity, what will you do? Square root of 2gh, yes or no? Hello students, if you know the height and they ask you to find initial velocity, you will do root of 2gh. So very similar formula. Root of 2gh, root of 2gh. So having understood these concepts, which I teach in board, for board syllabus. Now listen carefully, how using the board concepts, how to solve MCQs faster. So look here. A ball is dropped on the floor from a height of 10 meters. So a ball is dropped from a height of 10 meters. Okay. It rebounds to what height? 2.5 meters. One thing is very clear. The velocity with which it will start after hitting is not the same with which it hits. How do I know it is not same? if it was same, it would have reached what height? After hitting the floor, it would have reached same height. Okay, but here the height it has reached is less. So one thing is very, very clear. The speed with which it hits is more, and the speed with which it starts is little less. Okay, that much we know. Now they said it goes up to what height? 2.5 meter. So it goes up to 2.5 meter. Now you may think why I have drawn this side. There is a reason. Now they are also saying the ball is in contact with the floor for what time? 0.01 second. So time of contact is 0.01 second. They want you to find acceleration, average acceleration during contact. So they want average acceleration during contact. Now during contact, why they told? See, some students will think, oh, acceleration they are asking. Sir told in gravity when it is falling, acceleration is g, constant. So I should write g. Should I think that way? No, because they are asking not acceleration due to gravity. They are asking acceleration during contact. And during contact, the force, is it gravity force? Suppose I push Stalin or somebody, suppose I push you. That force is gravity force. Huh? That is not gravity force, that is contact force. So the acceleration which will come because of contact, you cannot say is same as due to gravity. So you have to use the definition of acceleration and try to find the answer. Now, how the diagram will look, see, how to think, look carefully. Here it starts. Then when it hits, right, when it hits, it will have some velocity. This is the picture just before hitting. This is the picture just before hitting, just before. So what will be the velocity that time? Root of 2g 10. Yes or no? Agree or not, everybody? Yeah. Then it will start. It will start like this with not same velocity. Here only it will start, but I am showing separately so that clarity will be there. Then it will start with what velocity? See, it has gone up to this height. Let me call this capital H. So with what velocity it should start? Whatever is the velocity, let us write V1 here. Then V2 will be root of 2g 2.5. Correct, no, students? So this is the velocity with which it hits. This is the velocity with which it starts. So during this interval from here to here, what is the time interval they told? 0.01 second. Of course, the interval will be very small. It is not like the ball will hit and then stay for some time and say, hello, how are you, floor? Everything is fine. No, okay, I'll go now like that. Like that, it will not go. Pang, pang, fast, fast, it will go. But still, when it will hit, students, if it will hit, and if you take a slow motion picture, if you have a very fast camera which can take pictures at a very small rate, very fine rate, then you will see the ball going like this, and like this, then starts. You understood what I'm trying to show? With your eyes, when you see, you will see thang thang fast, you will see. But if you can slow down, the motion and see very carefully, it will slightly get compressed, then come up and then start. So there will be some time interval during the contact. Understanding or not? Okay. So now you see, this is my initial velocity before contact. This is my initial velocity before contact. This is my final velocity after contact. This is just before contact. This is just after contact. And during contact, what was the interval of time? This much. So what will be the acceleration? What is the formula for acceleration? Average acceleration. Change in velocity divided by time interval. Right or not? But one thing you have to be careful, direction. Now, which direction you want positive, that you have to decide. So let me take down positive. Okay, so if you take down positive, your V2 will be negative. So V2 will be negative. Okay, so minus root 2G 2.5 minus V1 is root of 2G 10 divided by time interval is 0.01 second. Okay, you cannot write both of them plus. Students, remember, one is down, one is up. So one of them has to be negative, that is your wish. So first you decide which one you want positive, that way the answer will come. Now this will be how much? So average acceleration will be equal to, this is 20 g into 2.5 will be 25 into 2, so will be root 50 minus root 50 minus, this will be 100, so will be root 2. Like this, let me write root 2 into 5 minus root 2 into 10. I hope everybody understood, no? G into 2.5 will be 25. G into 2.5. Achha, they are asking you to take 9.8. So let me take it as 10 only, no? It will be easier, I think. 9.8 I should take. Okay. So 9.8 if I take, this will be root of how much? 49, huh? Root of 49. Okay, okay. And this will be root of 9.8 into 2 will be 196. 196 square root will be how much? 14, right? So this will be 196. Oh, acha, that means it is better to take G equals to 9.8. So sometimes it is better to take G is equals to 9.8, as you have seen in this problem. Okay, divided by 0.0. This is 49. This is 49, sorry. Okay. So this will be minus 7 minus 16 or 14 divided by 0.01. So minus 21 divided by 0.01, and that will come minus 2100 meter per second square. Okay, now final answer came negative or positive? Final answer came negative or positive? Negative. That means the acceleration should be upwards or downwards? Upwards, because we have taken downward positive. So everybody understood the problem? Okay, so basically you have to understand what, as it hits, you should be able to find the velocity very quickly. You cannot waste your time writing v square minus u square equals to 2as for this part. Similarly, you cannot spend time writing v square minus u square for this part. You should be able to find the velocity with which it hits and the velocity with which it starts. Immediately you should be able to write. Then comes just calculation of acceleration. Okay, acceleration during contact. So please don't think it is gravity acceleration. You can see this is a huge acceleration. Compared with gravity, gravity is how much? 10 meter per second square only. This is 2100. And that is because when it hits, the time of impact is very small. So if time of impact is very small, acceleration will be very large. Okay, let us try some other questions. Okay, let me see this question number 5. One boy was asking this. Simple question it is, but let me just try to explain. A person travels along a straight road for half the distance with velocity v1 and the remaining half distance with velocity v2. What is the average velocity? Some of you may think, sir, v1 plus v2 divided by 2. That is when the acceleration is uniform. In this problem, there is no acceleration. It is moving with constant velocity v1, 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 v1. Then it is moving with constant velocity v2, 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 v2. We have to find the average velocity. So listen carefully. Let us say the whole distance is divided into two parts. So from here to here, displacement is S1. From here to here, displacement is S2. From here to here, it travels with constant velocity v1. From here to here, it travels with constant velocity v2. Okay, students. From here to here, time taken, let me write t1. From here to here, let me write time taken t2. So what are t1, t2? T1, t2 are not time. T1, t2 are time taken. Time taken. So t1 is time taken from here to here. T2 is time taken from here to here. S1 is displacement from here to here. S2 is displacement from here to here. And V1 is the velocity in this part. V2 is velocity in this part. There is no acceleration in the problem. So if acceleration is not there, what can I write displacement equals to? If V is velocity, T is time taken, what I can write? V into T. V into T. No need to write half AT square. No need to write half AT square because there is no acceleration. Now, in this question, they told what is same? Distance is same or time taken is same? Read the question. Let me read for those who don't have the question with you. A person travels along a straight road for half the distance with velocity v1 and remaining half. So matlab the total distance is divided equally. So this distance and this distance are same. So if it is same, why to write S1, S2? I will write SS. Okay, students. Now what is V1? Distance, displacement by time taken. So from here, what will be time taken? Cross multiply. Displacement by velocity. Those who know this formula directly you write. Similarly, from here to here, what will be velocity? This V2 is from here to here. Displacement is same only. Time taken is T2. So time taken will be what? Displacement by velocity. Now they are asking average velocity throughout the journey from here to here. So average velocity for the whole journey, for the complete path from here to here. What is the formula for average velocity? Total displacement by total time. Total displacement is what? 2s. 2s I can write or not? S plus s. Yeah. And what is the total time? From here to here, time taken is t1. From here to here, time taken is t2. Correct na? And since time takens are not same, it is better to substitute for time taken. So let us substitute for time taken. Put this and this here. So what will you get? 2s divided by t1 will be s by v1. S by v1. Okay. And t2 will be s by v2. Take s common and cancel. Take s common and cancel. So your average velocity will be 2 divided by 1 by v1 plus 1 by v2. Okay, students. Then you can write this also. You can take LCM here, v1, v2, v2 plus v1. Then you can take this up, no? So 2 v1 v2 by v1 plus v2. Which option? Which option? It is D. So now if they give you some numbers, let us say this is 10 kilometer per hour from here to here. And from here to here, it is, let's say, 20 kilometer per hour. And if they ask average speed, you can directly use the formula or quickly you can derive. It will not take too much time. Hardly 1.5 minutes it will take. In fact, less than that also if you try to do these parts directly. Done, students? Okay. Now, sometimes here you can see distance was same. Sometimes time taken will be same. So for example, if you see question number 6. In question number 6, see what they have told. A car moves for half of its time with speed 80 km per hour, and for the rest half of the time with 40 km per hour. Total distance we don't need, they have given simply we don't need. What is the average speed of the car? Again, it is 1D motion only. So look here. Question number 6 you see. So they again there are two parts. It goes from one place to another place with some velocity v1, then goes with another velocity v2. So for this part it moves with one velocity. Then for another part it moves with different velocity. Okay, students, numbers are given. Don't worry. This time what they told is same. Distance or time? Time is same. So can distance be same now? Now distance cannot be same because times are same. So if times are same, the person who will run faster will cover more distance. So if you are moving faster here, then this distance will be more, right? So now you cannot write same distance. So distance cannot be same. Time taken are same. Okay, time taken are same. So start writing definition of this one. Displacement by time. So what will be displacement? V1 into time, right? Because this time displacements are not same. So we will try to find displacement first. Similarly, start with definition of this V2. From here to here, displacement is S2. Time taken from here to here is T. Time taken are equal, remember. So displacement will be velocity into T. Cross multiply. Then they asked average velocity. Here, whether it is speed or velocity, it doesn't matter because it is moving in a straight line without changing direction. So no need to worry about difference between displacement and distance, velocity and speed, no need. So what will be the answer? What is total distance? Total distance is what? S1 plus S2. Right? Total distance. What is total time taken? What I should write? Total time taken. Two T, right? Okay. So just substitute S1, S2 here and tell me what formula you get. I have just taken the screenshot of the participants, okay? Just to find out how many are still in the class, how many have left the class in the middle, okay? So what did you get? What is displacement S1? V1 into T. Displacement in the second interval is V2 into T divided by 2T, right? And then you can see T you can take common and cancel. T you can take common and then cancel. So your average velocity is V1 plus V2 divided by 2. So you see the answer is not same. So it depends on whether the time interval is same or the distance is same in these two parts. By the way, what is the answer? What is the speed in the first interval? Speed in the first interval was, what was the speed in the first interval? 80. Second one, what was the speed interval? Yeah, somebody has asked a question. How can you cancel T? Okay, okay. T common, I'm saying common. Okay. Then previously also I did no Abhigna. Look here. Average velocity is v1t plus v2t divided by 2t. Correct? No, this much we have got, right? Okay. So then you take common first here. v1 plus v2 common t 2t. Okay. Then you can cancel t. Same thing we did before also. Okay. I think now you understood, right? So second interval speed was 40 divided by 2. So then you can check how much will come. 80 plus 40 divided by 2, 60. So like this, depending on the question, whether times are same, distance are same, you have to change the method. But again, students, the idea is still the same. If they ask you average velocity, just divide the total distance by the total time, total displacement by the total time. Try one problem once. Last problem that you should try. Okay, this is extra, you can write. So let's say there is a boy who goes to his house or school. From here to here, he travels with 20 kilometers per hour. Okay, and then he comes back from here to here with 30, no, he must be tired no while coming back, so 10 kilometers per hour. So what he did was he went there, but he found the school is closed. So very happy, immediately he turned. Then aram se he came. Immediately, okay, he didn't take too much time here. So he went from here to here 20 kilometers per hour. From here to here, he came with 10 kilometers per hour. So find the average speed. Can you tell me what will be average velocity? If I ask average velocity, what will be average velocity if I ask? Average velocity will be 0. Right? Why it will be 0? Because the total displacement, he came back to the same point. So if he comes back to the same point, displacement is 0. If displacement is 0, average velocity will be 0. So try to find average speed. So how will you do? A to B. First you give some distance here, some s distance. Give some symbol. No, time taken will not be given, ma. You have to do without time taken. So just now we did without time taken, no, Abhigna? We were just given speed in the two distances. We were given speed in the two distances, right? And using that, we found the average speed. So first what you do, use this distance and this speed to find the time taken while going from A to B. So what will be time taken from A to B? Time taken from A to B will be what? Distance is S, speed is V1. This is your V1, let's say. This is your V2. Correct? No? Similarly, from B to A, while coming back, what will be time taken? Distance is same only. Distance is same only, but what is the speed? Speed is V2. So now if you want average speed for the entire journey, average speed not from here to here, from here to here to here, then how will you do this? Total distance by total time. Total distance, how will you write? Displacement is 0. Students, displacement is 0, no doubt. But total distance will be how much? Total distance will be 2s. And time taken will be t1 plus t2. While going, he took T1 time. While coming back, he took T2 time. Substitute these 2 times here. So T1 will be here. Let me put directly S by V1, and here S by V2. Take S common first. Take S common and then cancel. Okay, then if you rearrange, you will get the same formula. 2V1 V2 by V1 plus V2. So put the numbers yourself. You should get 40 by 3 kilometer per hour. Okay. Fine, students. So we will stop for today. But one small thing I will tell, don't say thank you. Wait 1 minute, you listen. I want all of you to be regular. Okay. Today, I think there are only how many participants? 55 is there. So one of you, can you take? I can also take. Yeah. So once we have taken the screenshot, I will try to see which names are not there and why are you doing like that? Unnecessary, no, because I think whatever I'm trying to teach, I'm trying to explain slowly for everybody. So if you put little bit of interest, you will be able to understand. And don't think that later again we will revise and all. Even if we revise, it will not be easy. It will not be easy to revise because so much of things will be there, time will be less, right? So I will try to find out what is happening. And some students I know, they go and then they come back. So going and coming back like that is not acceptable. I will find out because I have taken in after every half an hour like that, I try to take. So we will find out. And those students, I will ask you to don't attend my classes, number one. Number two, don't stay in the group also. Because see students, I am somebody who likes teaching physics very much. And if you have any doubt, I'm ready to explain whatever you want. How much ever slow you want, you can call me and discuss. But like that, cheating yourself, cheating your parents' money, okay, and cheating teachers, that is not a proper thing, I think. Okay. So anyways, thank you all of you. We will see you tomorrow.